I've been getting questions about should I go to welding school or should I go be a welder's helper? I don't know why I say that weird. In my mind, it sounds perfect. But anyways, to either go to welding school or go be a welder helper. Oh, guys, that's such a personal opinion. I'll tell you kind of what I've noticed about people that are welder helpers and people that went to school and then came out as welders. A lot of my buddies went to school and they went down to ISU in Pocatello, Idaho, one of the best pipe welding schools in the world. I don't care what Oklahoma's got, Lincoln Electric, like the guys that teach down here in Pocatello, they're rig welders. When they're not teaching, they're welding. And they're incredible pipe teachers. And that's where the money is anyways, in the pipe. So that being said, a lot of my buddies went to school and they came out incredible welders. I mean, they're outstanding welders. They're some of the best that I know. I mean, they can weld anything you want. In this school, they teach you how to weld Inconel, chrome, stainless. I mean, you're a straight up TIG hand when you leave. You can weld downhill pipe. You can weld uphill pipe. I mean, when you leave that school, you can go weld single hand that fast. I mean, they claim that if you finish the class, they will get you your first job. And that's a lot all in itself. But that being said, school is expensive. I mean, I think if you're on the conservative end of it, you're 4 semesters. I'm guessing you're anywhere from $16,000 to $21,000 to go for those 4 semesters, and the amount of time that you're there. When you're there for 2 years, but when you leave, you can read prints. You can basically do anything anybody else can do. So I guess the biggest thing is you have a 2-year learning curve right there, but you get a weld pipe every day for your last 3 semesters. Your first semester is learning how to strike an arc. I mean, they take people that have never struck an arc to welding pipe in 2 years, which is pretty awesome. I was a welder helper before that, and then I went to that school for 1 semester, and it was great. Don't get me wrong, it was awesome. I learned how to read prints. One of the biggest things that they do teach you is how to test. Weld tests, it doesn't matter if you dropped out in elementary school or if you graduated college. They don't look at your credentials. They don't look at anything like that. They want to know if you can pass the weld test. And that's the biggest thing. But there are procedures in how to, like, prepare coupons and get things ready to bend or break or whatever kind of destruction tests they're going to do for you. That was the biggest thing for me. They taught me how to take a test. And I'll probably do a video on how to prepare coupons and get things ready for a test. I mean, I think it's crucial. Little things can bust a test, and then you're driving a long ways to get to your next one. And it might be weeks or months or years between tests. I didn't work for a whole year 1 year, so, and that was mostly my fault. If I had pursued it a lot better, I think I could have made a lot more money. But so back on the school thing, it's great. My welder, all my buddies that are welders that came from ISU, incredible welders. I mean, they're top-notch welders. They know everything I know. I mean, they're probably better welders than I am. But I went for that 1 semester, and I think in gas money and time and paying the school, I was in at $7,500 or something like that. $7,500 for 1 semester. I decided it wasn't for me, not what I wanted. I was already a welder helper. I understood the pipelines. I was out on the pipelines, did the oil field deal, and did not want to spend money to learn how to do something like that. So I dropped out of college and went to let's see, I believe I went to Pinedale, Wyoming first. Hired on with a company over there as a welder helper. And I would help welders. Guys, you can learn the same thing you're going to learn in school, but there's one catch to it. You're going to deal with a lot of welders that are not very nice people. I mean, some of them are happy to help you, and a lot of them, they're happy to help you, but they're not going to show you that they're happy to help you. I mean, I've had a couple welders that I would sit there with a hood and watch them weld, and they'd turn around and tell me, hey, if you want to learn this, go to school. So you just kind of smile, shrug, and keep watching them, because they have no other option but to go back to welding or get run off. So that was kind of my thing. Is I was kind of a pain in the butt probably to a lot of welders, but I would watch these welders and watch how they would run their welds. And I mean, I helped a lot of welders, and I would pick up little things from each welder. Some welders I helped were straight pipeline welders. I mean, they could out-weld. I mean, it was a freaking foot race all day. You get skinny really fast chasing a front-end crew. And these guys could weld, and they would run to the next joint, and they would weld, and that was their thing. Speed is everything on a pipeline. You got 8 guys, 12 guys behind you, and it's a foot race to the to who's done first, you know. So I learned speed. I learned I mean, I don't know, I wouldn't say a pipeline welder's sloppy, but I definitely wouldn't say they really make that good of that pretty of a weld. I mean, their welds they're 100% x-rayed, and every one of them will pass. I mean, everybody's got their specific job, and that's what you do all day for however long till the job ends. So pipeline welders, I learned how to go fast, how to be fast, what it took in a helper to be able to maintain that all day. When you become a helper, you learn a lot. I mean, the nice thing about being a welder helper is you are actually out there in the field, and you are learning the procedures on what it takes to be a welder. In school, you have no flipping clue what it's like to actually be out in a plant or on a pipeline until you are done with school, and then you get sent out there, and it's kind of like, holy moly, like, okay, what do we do? So that's another good thing about being a welder helper, is you are actually right smack in the middle of it, and you're learning. The plant welders, I helped a bunch of plant welders, bunch of fabrication hands, and there I learned how to read prints, do takeoffs, take measurements, rollout wheels. When you weld, you can use a rollout wheel all the time, and I learned how to be fast on a rollout wheel, and just things like that. I learned from the plant hands. But one thing you got to keep in mind when you are trying to decide if you want to be a welder helper or if you want to go to school, if you're going to be a welder helper, chances are you're going to break out as a rig welder right off the bat. Because number one, you've got to save your money. A lot of welders won't let you use their welding machines to weld. I wasn't that way. All my helpers could use my machine if they wanted to. Go back there and go weld. All lunch, breaks, whatever you wanted. But a lot of welders won't let you do that. I only had one that would let me do it, and I only did it like 3 or 4 times. So when you're a welder helper, you're gonna basically break out as a rig welder first, right off the bat, because you're gonna have to buy a welding machine, and during lunch, during break, you're gonna go sit on the back of your truck, fire up your own welding machine, and sit back there and weld. And you're gonna practice. I mean, I don't know how many lunches I skipped. I mean, dude, I just sit back there and just practice and weld, and I would cut coupons during breaks and go weld coupons all day. That's how I learned, guys. And when you finally are good enough to take a test, and believe me, you're gonna have every welder and their dog sitting over there watching you weld, because they want to see the helper and see just how bad he really is, which I was terrible, don't get me wrong. I was bad, but I would weld during lunch. I would go back and help. I'd put my hood on, and I would sit there and watch that welder, and then I would go back at break and try to figure out what he did, and try to involve it in what I was doing. Yeah. So between the welding school and the welder helper debate, my personal opinion, and this is my personal opinion, is I am glad that I went out and was a welder helper first. That's just my opinion. I got paid to learn, for one. I was making like 18 bucks an hour, $100 per diem on a lot of jobs. Some jobs, like in Pinedale, I was making 14 and 100. And I was getting paid to watch welders weld and to help them. And personally, in myself, I believe I became a better welder that way, because it forced me to buy all my own equipment. It forced me to take the initiative to become the welder, because guys, if you're gonna go be a welder helper, ain't nobody gonna help you get your stuff. Like, if you want a welding machine, you better get your money put together, and you better go get you a flipping welding machine, because that's just how it is. I mean, I've heard of a couple welders that would help their helpers, but it's rare and far between. I'll tell you that much right now. Being a welder helper, you either are gonna be that for years, forever, if you don't take the initiative and take those self-improvement steps to better yourself. And some of those past videos, I talk about bettering yourself all the time. Being a welder helper, you are required to better yourself if you ever want to become the welder. You have to. That's just how it is. But as in the welding school, you can go weld single hand for a few years and buy a welding truck and make that welder money. And I mean, it's such a toss-up on what you want to do. I mean, it's completely up to you how you want to learn it. I chose being the welder helper, and it's worked out great for me. I made a lot of money, and I broke out straight out of welding, being the welder helper, into a rig welder. I went from making $14 an hour, $100 per diem, to I think my first job was $42 an hour on the arm, $16 an hour on my truck, and $120 per diem. And I jumped from that to that. If you're gonna go to school, you're gonna pay somebody $21,000 to learn what they know, and then you're gonna go out and be a single hand welder. Unless you got somebody that's already got a truck that's gonna let you loan their truck to you. But you're gonna go out, be a single hand welder. You're gonna make great money. Don't get me wrong. You're gonna make like anywhere from $25 to $35 an hour and $100 per diem. So, anyways, guys, just a thought on all that. I had a lot of people asking me what I thought was a better decision, going out and being the welder helper or going to school. It's a toss-up. It's a huge toss-up. My opinion, welder helper is the only way to do it. But that being said, I didn't know how to TIG weld. I didn't know how to uphill weld. That was all a whole nother learning curve that I had to learn, and it took me probably another year to learn that. So there's just a lot of decisions to be made on those two little subjects. Go to a pipe school, go help a welder that welds pipe, and learn everything you can from them, and then go to the next welder and learn everything you can learn from them. To this day, I do not quit watching welders. There is always a welder that is faster than I am. There is a welder that can weld better than I can. I mean, there are so many tricks to this trade that you will never quit learning. The guys that quit learning usually fall off the face of the earth, and nobody freaking remembers them. So, anyways, guys, be blessed. If you like these videos, like, subscribe, share them to all your friends. Anybody that's thinking about becoming a welder or whatnot, send them this way. Leave comments in the bottom. I'll try to answer them best I can, and you guys give me ideas on videos all the time, so I just start building these videos. So if this didn't answer any of your questions on the welding school or welder helper, let me know. I'll try to clarify some things if you want them clarified. And anyways, be blessed, and we'll talk to all you guys later. Thanks.